Welcome back to Tools and Track. It's winter, so it's off season, so it's time for us to go and sort out the little MX5. Ooh. Don't know what that was all about. Been driving an MX5 for like 2 years. Ooh, good for me. Anyway. Diff casing. You'll notice this is not the G19 one. This is the one that we actually knocked up God knows how many months ago, tried to sell and realised nobody actually wants to buy these for some reason. So it's been sat on the shelf ever since. However, it's actually quite useful because I have the G19 in the MX5 right now and I have a diff that does not sound happy. So what I have done, repaired my spare Fuji diff, which is the same ratio, i.e. the one that I need, and got it ready to go. So let's build it up and fit it. Right, while the car's in there, I'm probably going to take this opportunity, give it a quick check over and make sure that we are good to boogie for another year. And already, I've found issues. So remember when we did the drift day and I was like, oh, those pilot sports have done really well. Yeah, on the outside, because they are absolutely mangled on the inside. Delamination, anyone? We'll be changing those. Right, so let's talk about why I'm doing this. Quick history lesson on this little guy. When we got it, it had an open diff, which was absolutely no use at all for anything we're going to do with it. So I lucked upon a Fuji, which I put in, got it out of breaker, and then I heard all the horror stories about a Fuji being not as good as a Tarzan. So eventually I got a Tarzan, and then we put that in, and then the Tarzan was making funny noises, you know, the unbreakable diff that's better than the Fuji. Needless to say, it was the pinion seal had come loose and was scraping, probably mishandling by the previous owner. Anyway, because I had to keep this thing running, we chucked the Fuji back in it, and by luck and happenstance, I ended up with a second Fuji. So this Fuji's been okay, but eventually it started to make kind of unhappy grinding noises after it was been really abused, which generally says to me that the clutch packs are probably on the way out. We'll explain a bit more about clutch packs at some point, I'm sure, but fundamentally this isn't a mechanical, it's a clutch assisted diff. So the second Fuji that I also got out of a breaker and was sitting spare, by the way, the Tarzan ended up in the low cost once we fixed it, so that's good. Anyway, we're going to keep it Fuji on this guy. But the second one I sent to McNeil Motorsport in Ireland. Now they're quite well renowned in the scene for being the guys that can put life into Fujis where there never was one before. So they're quite secretive about the magic that they work, but they do change the clutch packs with something a bit beefier. So that's been done. It's pretty reasonable as well. So the next stage is to take suspicious Fuji out and put the reworked one in with the other casing. Technically it is maintenance. I don't think it's going to make much in the way of improvement other than making sure that this diff won't die. By the way, we've done numerous videos of me showing you how to do a diff change in this, so here's the highlight reel, because there's other things I want to get into today as well. Like getting this bloody bolt out. Anyway. Right, this diff change malarkey isn't actually that hard a thing to do. What you just need to get is the shafts out of the hubs, which we've done. If you get the top bolts off, these will move and you'll get the shafts out the way without disrupting any of your suspension geometry. Drain the oil, that's next. I'm going to break the prop shaft bolts off, and then we're going to go for popping the shafts out, move them out all the way altogether. They'll just chat with a wee crowbar in there. Then I need to take the exhaust off, handily enough. My custom job has a V-band here, which we'll just break off. And then it's simply a case of breaking off the two PPF bolts here, loosening the fronts, move the PPF out the way, and then the two bolts that hold the diff in come down, and it's out. What did I miss? Yeah, these chassis support braces. Some of your MX5s, the early ones, don't come with it. These ones do. these will be a fight if you've not done this before. I have done this a breathtaking amount of times now, if I'm being honest, so I know these will come out. But yeah, you might have a bit of rough fun with that. Other than that, it's not that difficult a job, he says, knowing that it's going to be difficult somehow today. I'm sure it'll present itself with fun. But while I'm under here, I'm going to have a wee scour about and just check the corrosion really, and more than anything else, make sure it's looking good. Back end actually seems alright. Everything that we've replaced is still looking painted and relatively clean. My mild steel exhaust has also got the paint on it, which is promising. Must not do that again. Do you know what? I think once the exhaust's off, I might have to give the back box a wee clean as well. And when it goes back on, sort the adjustment, because it's melting the bumper. But other than that, pretty rude health from what I've seen so far, so that's positive. 2 tyres definitely will be needed though. Right, babble less, disassemble more.
Take 3.
Well, those were a bloody fight. In the end, I actually had to blow the bead on with the old using fire technique. Nothing else would make them work. Now, these aren't really that stretched, a set of rubber. They're maybe like an inch narrower than the wheel, but I mean, it's not wild. But there's something about the sidewall of these TR1s that is just so much stiffer than the Pilot Sports that I've been running before. Now, to clarify, I was going to get Pilot Sports and just put these rears back to the way the fronts are, but I had the Toyo TR1s just sitting from that drift day, I don't know how many months ago. So I thought, well, the tyres, I'll put them on. But given the hardness here, I'm starting to wonder if you're actually going to have a reduction in grip. So I've got 3 months before like the next track day, so I'm just going to run them through winter and just see what those grip levels are like, especially in the cold and the wet, because I suspect that's probably where they would fall down. Obviously doing it in the rear is a bit of a bold move, but well, we'll be gentle with it, but I'm not really convinced with these as yet. Anyway, last thing on the list, it's not always just mechanical maintenance we need to do to wee things like this. You'll note it's actually a fabric soft top. No, you've got a pair of eyes, so you can probably work that one out. And it's been unsealed for a long time. I'm starting to notice it's looking a bit patchy. I mean, it's in pretty good nick, but I think it needs sealed. But it also needs to be cleaned before it's sealed. You'll see here we're getting mould starting to appear around about here. So I've went and bought one of these kits. Now, if I'm being honest, I've actually just seen this in a sale and went, I'll buy that and find a use for it. But this is Autobrite Direct. So I think it's Halford's own brand, and it was clearly on sale because, well, probably because it's absolute garbage, but we'll give it a go anyway. It comes with 2 bottles. We've got a wash for washing, obviously, and a Fabry Shield, which is for sealing the soft top up. Now, I've actually had it out, as you can see by the watermarks, and given it a clean with a pH neutral soap, and it's not really done anything. So the kit also comes with a little stiff sort of brush thing. So I'm going to just use a scoosh bottle with the shampoo in, get this nice and black to begin with. and then we'll fire it on. Like I say, I mean, it's a race car, it's a track car, but it's not, it's my daily. I need to kind of keep it nice. So get the roof done, and yes, we'll worry about the rust at some point. Let's see what kind of difference the bristle sponge makes. So the guide says this needs 24 hours to cure, but in this weather it's probably going to need about 3 years. But seems to be bedding in and patches seem to be drying, so hopefully that will be good and give that nice beady finish that the fancy soft tops get. And that kind of wraps up my winter maintenance plans, with the exception of doing a timing belt, which is still to come. So be sure and stay subscribed, because I think we're going to do a how-to rather than our usual style of video for that. Otherwise, the wee car's pretty much ready to go for another race season. Patreon.com/toolsandtrack if you appreciate this form of content. If not, cool, just do like, bell, subscribe, and give it a wee share on a platform, like a wee group that you're maybe on Facebook. That sort of stuff really helps the channel grow. And until next weekend, guys, drive safe.